After getting a bunch of questions about my thoughts on the announced Dark Souls Remastered, I thought it was about time I actually made a video on it. So without further ado, here we go. Initially, when the Remastered was announced, I was immensely hyped. Dark Souls brought into the modern era, sign me up. But when you think Remastered as a blanket statement, you instantly think updated visuals. That's where my first issue is with the Remaster. For my personal taste, it just doesn't offer a big enough step forward to justify the Remastered actually being a thing. In fact, I think in some cases it takes steps back, offering a more washed out look instead of the dark, gritty feeling I've become accustomed to when referring to Dark Souls. That coupled with the textures not really looking updated either, and in some cases adding some, just some, animated foliage is almost insulting to us the users. We were promised a Remastered built from the ground up, but at the moment this feels like a lazy patch-up job, with them forgetting how meticulous the Souls community is. We'll notice where areas are lackluster and grapple onto them. Is that a flaw within the community? I wouldn't say so. To me, it's about taking pride in the franchise you love and making sure it gets the respect it so rightfully deserves. But even with the lackluster texture changes, the washed out visuals, as a primary PC player this doesn't get me excited at all. With the addition of mods, you can bring Dark Souls into today's era and make it aesthetically look like it belongs in a modern day game lineup. So aesthetically and visually the remaster for me is lacking. But part of me thinks, well, if I have that opinion, what would I change to make me satisfied? Am I merely portraying Dark Souls in the light I want to see it in, which in hindsight would be selfish, or is there real criticism to make of it here? Well, truth be told, I'm not really 100% certain what I'd change aesthetically. A more dark and decrepit visual style perhaps, more mesh improvements in the environment, and foliage that's fully animated. The only thing I know for certain is that what I see now with the base remaster is not that, and I'm not a major fan of it. To sum up my thoughts on the visuals, it looks like a very lazy attempt where some areas have had changes, whereas some are left untouched, maybe in the hopes we wouldn't notice. But again, a lot of these issues get alleviated with the PC version, and I don't want to sound like a PC elitist, but with the ability to modify your experience, it really allows the user base to go through the game with a fine-tooth comb and change things merely out of passion for the game and not because they're receiving a paycheck. With the Dark Souls Remastered getting released on PS4, Xbox One, PC and the Switch, this opens up potential new Souls fans that joined the wagon at Dark Souls 3 to join and experience where the Dark Souls series started, although with Dark Souls working with backwards compatibility on the Xbox One. The fact it's releasing on numerous current generation consoles is good mainly for the PlayStation and Nintendo audience. But what I'm getting at is the fact that this will breathe new life into the series, and so many people will be able to experience the masterpiece. Well, I don't want to speak for everyone, but having new people in the community will always be a good thing to me. So after getting barraged with questions about Lost Izalith and the Bed of Chaos and whether or not I think they'll change or finish them, it made me think that this Dark Souls Remastered is some sort of a weird hybrid. It's a remaster, but they're also remaking some elements of the game. For those unaware, the remastered version includes the password matching system from Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3, 6-player online capabilities, and you can now hand in multiple Covenant rewards and pop numerous souls at the same time. Now this is stuff I really like, and I'm glad they added it. However, the remastered, spoiler alert, adds new bonfires. Well, at the moment it's just a single bonfire that we know of, so that's why it made me think that even though the idea of them remaking the unfinished areas will not happen, and which is now confirmed to be true by the way, my argument for this has always been it's just a remaster, not a remake. And it's the same Dark Souls we all know and love, and for the most part that's true. But with the addition of these in-world gameplay changes, my argument, it's only a remaster, kind of gets debunked. With the addition of these aspects, we can now say, well, why is there not omnidirectional rolling? Why haven't some of the Covenants been changed to be worth a damn? At the moment, for me, Dark Souls Remastered is this weird hybrid of a game where it's not really doing neither the remastered or the remake sections very well. There's elements of both, but they feel lackluster, and I'll say again, feels lazy. Although I will say they are adding mechanics that are a welcome change and should now be a staple in the future From Software Souls-esque titles, try saying that 10 times fast, for example like multiple item usage and the online password system. In conclusion, I'm still very excited for the Remastered, I am. Mainly for the PvP scene. I never really was active during that time, so it'll be nice to finally jump in and see it be active again. For the PvE side of it, it's hard not to go in with expectations. I'll have them whether I like it or not, but I'm still hopeful they pay Dark Souls the respect it warrants and we can call this the definitive version of Dark Souls. Even with the visual changes available with modding on PC, I still find it quite hard to justify the remaster besides getting into the PvP scene. The ease of life changes are nice, but handing in Covenant rewards doesn't make or break the game for me, honestly. So I guess it comes down to personal worth and whether or not this will be your first chance to actually experience Dark Souls 1. If so, that's fantastic and I hope you have an amazing experience. For veterans of the series, this doesn't seem all that, but perhaps our expectations were too high from the start. Sorry for the relatively short video, I'm working on 2 bigger projects at the moment. I just thought I'd get this out there seeing as though I haven't put anything out in a long time and that's not good enough. And really there's not much else to say without playing it. Bandai Namco invited me to play it on the 27th of March, but unfortunately I couldn't attend. So all this is just going off what I've seen online. What are your thoughts on the Remastered anyway, if you have any? Are you disappointed already or are you full of childlike glee? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. As always, I've been Paragon, it's been lovely talking to you. Take care, be good to one another, and I'll see you next time.